Hey guys, it's Nemo, and we're testing out the Akizuki again after the unfortunate video I posted last time of the Akizuki where volume was too loud. I think my captain voice volume is still too loud. I need to go and have a look at that. But this is on the test server again, but this time it's a random battle. So we're actually playing against other players, which is good. It's small, as you can see, so it may not be the best battle conditions, but it'll almost be like playing a ranked battle or a clan battle. Have 7 on 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at C first, because our role as a destroyer is to cap, and the Akizuki is an extremely good defensive destroyer once you can get a cap. But as you see there's a Des Moines and a Chapayev, and the Kagero can outspot me by a mile. I think it has a 5.7, 5.6, I'm not sure, detection. It's got a pretty low detection. So I'm not actually going to go straight in. I'm just going to spot that corner over there where you know that everybody goes when they have radar cruisers. The last thing I want is the Kagero coming and surprising my battleships. So we have one Des Moines, so one radar. So I'm just going to hang out here for a second. I'm going to get the engine boost because the Akizuki is very slow. And I'm going to wait to see what cap goes first. Now that'll give me an idea of where the Akizuki is. So looks like he's on this cap. So I'm going to send my first lot of torpedoes down there. Come on. Where are you? Where would he be? Oh, that's not good. Charles Martel out there. So he's either going to be down there or he's going to be in the corner over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to send a volley down here. Now I haven't seen any other ships other than the Charles Martel and the Yamato, and that's not good, eh? There he is there, rightio. So let's start moving, opening fire. We know where he is. Give him a blind volley. Gonna come around. Okay, we've got something over there. So that's 6 shells. Don't you run. That's it. That's what you want from your radar cruisers. Right, now that the radar cruiser's done that, I'm going to push the cap. Okay, so I'm going to think the radar cruiser, and in we go. Essentially, this is how you want to play the Akizuki. If you had a division of you and a radar cruiser, this would actually be really handy. Or you and another destroyer that can spot for you, because the Akizuki is an absolute monster. It just wrecks things. Now, this isn't very gunboat Akizuki like you see everybody playing, and the reason is it's simple. Is I'm the only destroyer on my team. We have a spotting advantage on the team right now, and it needs to stay that way. And this Des Moines is radaring, so we're radared. Let's just open up. Okay, he hasn't shot at me, that's good. I want to try and get as much into the corner of the island as I can. I'll dump off my torpedoes. Okay, I want to hit here because I'm radared. And we have a Chapayev over there. So, still protected. So it's the Yamato, probably the Yamato. This is bad, this is bad. Okay, not radared anymore, so we're going to smoke up anyway. Sorry, the volume's still out. I'm going to try and not talk while the volume's at, while something's going on, so then you don't miss anything. Okay, flooding. So you want to get rid of as many radar cruisers as you can as soon as you can. Okay, he's going forward. Where are you going, buddy? Now, armor piercing would do well here, but ooh, that was juicy. Okay, he's coming back around. If the Martel goes down, that'll be handy. Come on, come on. Okay, let's pop that engine boost because we're reversing and we want to get ready to run. Now, if he's charging in, he's probably running hydro. There's no reason for a ship like that to charge in without hydro. Good work. Okay, now let's get this cap. The hipper's already in there, but hippers aren't capping ships. We all know that. And he's turning broadside to a curve first. Hey, curve first. Okay, you want to aim for that superstructure. Oh, I am spotted, I don't want that. Whether he can get me or not, it's another matter. But you don't want to even risk it. Especially in a ship like this where you're the only destroyer. You're the only destroyer and you're an Akizuki. You really need to play smart. You can't just go rushing off and doing silly things. And my smoke will be up soon. Okay, if you're seeing why I'm zooming out and that, I do that a lot so I can keep an eye on what's around. You know, sometimes people will sit like this and they will do that and they won't look at the mini-map and they won't look at anything else, and then there's something just there and they could have seen it if they just had have zoomed out a bit. So I just zoom in and out all the time for that sort of thing. So I'm always seeing what's going on. Okay, I'm going to smoke so I can get a better angle on the curve first. He is almost out of my range. He's definitely out of my torpedo range. But I'm not too worried about that. This is the chap I have now you've got to keep an eye on because of the radar. Wonder if we could smoke him. No, not smoke him, torp him. So even in... Now the only reason I'm going to hold down at the moment is I'm keeping my eye on the mini-map, and I know that there's nothing else around me at the moment. It's the only reason that I would tunnel vision like this, but I don't want to get blind fired. Is he firing at me? Yeah, look at that. Nah, that's gone to the hippo over my head. Okay. Okay, the chappie's gone. Montana's dead. Alright, so we could probably head over towards D. Okay, now that he's got no vision, it's my turn to get out and spot. You still have to play as a destroyer, even though you're a pure gunboat and you're essentially the size of a little cruiser. Yeah, I'm going to hit the wall here. That's how the turning circle of this thing is just rubbish, absolute rubbish. As you can see, it is huge. So 3-point turn here, we'll get this right, and off we go. Now let's go. Okay. We have a Richelieu curve first, Des Moines charging against a Montana, and the Kerfur's being shot at by the Hipper and the Yamato. They have one cap, we have two. Never ever leave objective play, especially as an Akizuki. Your job is to defend the objective because you can't chase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head across to D. These guys might have a phenomenal round all of a sudden. I don't expect it, especially with the health pool that we have, but the Hipper near me, he could die in the next salvo. Engine boost for a little bit of speed.
Engine boost.
Now I'm running concealment module and 10 point, with my 15 point captain I have a concealment build with him. It is viable, especially with the slow speed of the Akizuki and the amount of radar that you will face, that a full gun build will work. So if you put the concealment module on your consumables but not on your captain, that'll work. It'll work quite well. So it'll give you, with concealment module and your camos, you'll get 6.8 detection. Now I think 6.8 is good for this ship because it's just slow. It's only getting to 36.6 right now because I'm running in a straight line. It's about to get to 37. I am running torpedo, sorry, not torpedo reload. I am running the engine boost. And I have a speed flag on. So, of course, it's going to get out to that speed. But it doesn't usually. It only gets to around 33 odd, or, you know, not anything really quick. So I'm going to fire in front just in case he decides to speed up a bit. He is slowing down though. And it looks like he's coming in, so I doubt he's going to see those and know it's an Akizuki. Let's hope. And be like, hey, Akizuki's fired his 112 launcher, off we go.
Engine boost kaijo.
Akizuki's got two, my man. Come on, are they going to hit? Oh, I don't think so. Okay. Maybe one on the bow. Okay, time for me to move, otherwise he's going to wreck me. He's probably going to be... No, he won't be faster than me. Now I'm wondering if these guys can see, or is it just me spotting. Now I know he's got about a 6 kilometer hydro, so what I want to do is smoke, because I'm going to see if I'm spotting him. Yes, I'm spotting him. Okay, so I'm going to hop out of the smoke, because otherwise my team won't be able to see him. Okay, now the other thing that's he's worried about now is that there's a destroyer in a smoke screen up there. Okay, it's reversing. Look, aim at me. So you want to sort of stay broadside even though you're kiting away, and the reason you want to stay broadside is because you're more likely to be over penetrated than taking full pens, which will easily kill you. Oh, slow down, slow down. There we go, just juke a little bit. Okay, now one of my teammates is spotting him, so I have the safety of this island and I can just duck it. You want to try and hit the superstructure or on the top of the deck, because the Akizuki buff has allowed you to now penetrate 25mm of armor with the high explosive, so you have 1/4 penetration again. And there we go. Well, again, I shouldn't say again, you never had it in the first place, but now you have that. You sort of have a built-in IFHE, and then if you run the IFHE, gives you an extra 30% on your penetration. It's really good. I'm still running the IFHE. I think that it's something that the 100mm guns need, and it's especially devastating against destroyers in one-on-one knife fights. So not too bad, good experience, good damage. It didn't look like we're going to do too much damage in the end there, but this Akizuki, as soon as the guns start firing, it fires off very quickly. And you can see how much credits. I am running some special flags and stuff that will be available. This is the test server, remember, that will be available on the live server unless something changes in the next patch, which is the anniversary of the 3rd year anniversary of Wargaming. So 60,000 damage of main battery damage, and it was all high explosive. There was no armor piercing. I didn't fire any armor piercing. There were times where I could have, but I didn't, and not very many fires. So you still use the IFHE and you get that raw damage. And not as much fire, but you can increase the fire chance by running Demolitions Expert. Okay, so we saw the team score. It was quite an easy amount of XP because I got one assisted cap and 1 solo cap, so that does help buff your XP as a destroyer, and the defended ribbons also multiply your XP. So let's go and have a look at my Akizuki. 15-point captain, as you can see. So my captain skills, I'm running the priority target because I like to know who fires at me and how many are going to be firing at me, or how many can see me with radar, and are they going to be, when the radar's on, how many are targeting me, how many would have possible shots, or how many have decided to have seen me and know that I'm around. Then last stand, always run last stand as your second skill on a destroyer. There's no other skill that you should be running on a destroyer. Now this is tier 8. If you don't know to run last stand by tier 8, you need to relearn the game, guys, because this is such an essential skill, a vital skill for destroyers. It needs to be run. You can tell ships that destroyers that haven't got this skill. As soon as their engine goes out, they pop their damage repair. Next second you know, the next salvo goes in and damages their engine again, and they're dead in the water. Destroyer that's dead in the water is a dead destroyer. It's not going to last long. As soon as you're dead in the water with a destroyer, you're no use to your team anymore. You are one of the most important vessels in the team. With the lack of aircraft carriers these days, because of the anti-air meta and people, the skill base around aircraft carriers, destroyers have such a vital role in spotting. So you need to have last stand so you don't lose your engine out badly. Sorry. My next skill I'm running, Demolitions Expert, is viable because as your third skill, because it'll counterbalance the IFHE. You could also run the Survivability Expert for extra knife fights, but I think that the Akizuki's got a relatively good health to fight in knife fights, and its raw damage, its raw DPM that it can pump out makes it more than capable of taking on tier 10 destroyers. When I'm playing Gearing or the Yu Yang and I know that there's an Akizuki on the other side, I'm very cautious. I'm more cautious around an Akizuki than I am around a Cubbo, and the reason I'm more cautious is because the Akizuki's concealment is better, and it's more likely to come into the cap and contest the cap because it's only got a 6.1, so it's the same as a Z52. It's got the same spotting detection range as Z52, so it's more likely to come in. But I decided that I would buff the guns here, make these 100mm guns fire even faster, with basic firing training, and then I chose, because I had a 15-point captain, I chose the concealment, and then after concealment I went for IFHE. So IFHE, I don't think you need it anymore on these guns because they have buffed up the penetration on your 100mm shells, but I still use it, maybe a little bit out of habit, but I think more because it increases the damage that you can do against destroyers. You're an anti-destroyer gunboat. You want to be able to absolutely wreck anything that comes near your cap. You play defensive, you play around the objectives, you don't overextend, and anything that comes near you, you destroy with your guns. You just demolish them. Other viable skills, let's see, other viable skills for, so I've got 4 points left. I'm not sure what I'll run on them. AR would be extremely handy, except I don't think I'm going to run it because the guns already on this with the basic firing train buff are already extremely fast. You saw how fast they fired there. They can get down to 2.5 seconds. 2.5 seconds is good for a destroyer, and especially one that has as many guns as the Akizuki does. The only other destroyer that will run the same amount of guns as you is the Habrovsk, and the Habrovsk is tier 10, and it's not going to really come near you unless you're the last ship on your team in a battle. Then it's going to chase you down and hunt you down, which it will do quite easily. You could also run the Superintendent for extra smokes, extra consumables of speed boost and torpedo reload, just to make your torpedoes a little bit more effective. You could run a full gunboat build where you, instead of doing concealment, and run a 6.8 detection instead of a 6.1, and you could put on the advanced firing training and increase the range of your guns. I think the Akizuki's guns turn relatively quickly, so you don't really need expert marksmen. You can buff them if you want. The traverse speed will be very good. What else could we run? So I think what I'm going to do with my last 4 points is, instead of running AR, I'm going to run Demolition Expert for that extra fire chance to counteract the IFHE, which reduces your fire chance, and then I'm going to run the modules, preventive maintenance. The last thing you want is your guns getting knocked out, your steering gear getting knocked out, all those sorts of things. So that would be my basic Akizuki build. It's relatively competitive. It's good for defending the cap, because that's what you more want to do. Another viable skill, probably for defending so you didn't get surprised, would be the RPF, but I think if you're going to run the build I've just gone through, RPF would be a waste of skills. Usually you can tell where an enemy destroyer is, especially as a defensive destroyer, because you're sitting the back of your cap or near your cap enough that you can defend it, and then you can move behind islands and cover to go and defend the next cap. So as soon as your cap gets contested, you know that there's something in front of you. So most of the things that are going to be fighting you as a defensive destroyer are in front of you. So that'll be that's my captain build. Let's have a quick look at running the modules. Obviously I run premium consumables. You should be able to afford premium consumables on all your ships. Don't leave them on though unless you play the ship regularly, and the reason you don't leave them on regularly is because as soon as the battle's done, it takes money out of the battle you've just played to put them back on. So if you're not playing your ship regularly, then don't leave these. So disable the auto resupply. Just put them as premiums once, otherwise you're going to keep losing money. Yes, there's a lot of money up here because it's a test server, and I know that on my live server that I have over 100 million credits, and I can afford to do it. Just leave them, but I don't even leave them as it is. I try to get in the habit of not leaving things on there, so I'm not ripping myself off. It's once you start playing tier 8, tier 9, tier 10, it's hard enough with your credits and your economy to maintain your economy without having, especially if you don't run the premium camos that you can buy, it's hard enough to keep the money there without robbing yourself of money. Okay, so upgrades, so this is obviously full B hull, Type 93 modules, Type 8 guns control. Upgrades on, I run the main armaments mod to make sure that my one torpedo tube and my guns are relatively safe. It would be viable to run magazine mod, and then if you didn't have the flags, the anti-detonation flags, then you'd be a bit safer. I always run the propulsion module on my destroyers, and the reason I run that is because you don't want your engine down. Now the steering gears mod would be handy if you're an open water gunboat, but you're too slow to open water. These two here, I wouldn't take that one at all. The damage control, propulsion modification, and steering gears mod 1, they'd be only a toss-up if you're playing the Khabarovsk. Okay, but I think the propulsion modification for all other destroyers is what you want. You need engine survivability. The aiming systems, you don't want to increase the traverse of your speed and lose main battery loading time. I know that I have buffed my guns, it's 2.5 seconds. If I put this on, it's about 2.8 seconds or something like that. It's not much at all for a bit more speed, but I don't know, I don't really like that. So main battery 2 and aiming systems 1 could be viable, but the torpedo traverse speed here, the dispersion on your guns, I just think it's a lot better. The more accurate you can fire your guns, the better. And AA, the AA is absolutely pitiful on this ship, so I wouldn't even bother running AA. I like the propulsion modification 2 over steering gears because I play a lot of island hopping. I also use the smoke a fair bit near the islands, and the last thing you want to do is, you are a big clumsy ship, you don't want to get caught sitting in the smoke, especially broadside. There was a time there where I did sit broadside in that battle that we just had a look at to fire at the Kurfürst, but the only reason I did that is because I knew that the Kurfürst didn't have torpedoes, the Kagero was dead, and there was nothing else near me that was going to fire torpedoes. The only time I would sit broadside in a smoke. Damage control system, none. It just not viable on a destroyer. Steering gears mod, this is something that you could use on your cover. I'd actually probably prefer it on the Khabarovsk than the propulsion mod, because you're open water. Khabarovsk is always open water gunboat. And concealment, I always run the concealment. Get that detectability down, especially in such a slow ship. You don't want to be caught out. You could run the acquisition mod, but then you'd have to run your captain's skill. You wouldn't be able to run that 6.8 kilometer gunboat style, and that would give you a little bit of advantage over certain destroyers who are trying to push into a smoke screen or around a corner. It'll give you that better acquisition of around an island. So you've already got the proxy spot, which is 2 kilometers, but you can increase it a little bit more because you have your target acquisition system. But I would recommend concealment system modification 1. So flags, now I am running the premium camouflage on the ship. It brings it down by the detectability -3%. So, but all these pretty much do the same. So Type 6, your restless fires, they're all -3, -3%. So it only brings it down the same. The thing that the premium camos allow you to do is give you a bit more XP, and they reduce the cost of the ship at the end of the battle. Signals, I'd run the detonation flag, definitely. Juliet Charlie, everyone wants to run that. Once you run that, then you can put on your India X-ray and your Victor Lima for some more fire. I would run a speed boost, definitely. Sierra Mike flags, and then whatever flags you want after that. I think those are your basic 4 flags for this ship, and then you've got all these other ones you can run. These 3 here, the Basilisk, the Skeeler and the Leviathan. These are going to be available for, unless it changes, this is work in progress, they will be available for the anniversary on the next patch. So anyway guys, that's my, I guess, a revisited review on the Akizuki in its current state, current form. Hope you get something useful out of it, and I'll catch you next time.